Good day, everyone. Today, we will give an insight about poverty. Basically, poverty is the knowledge of giving options and opportunities, a violation of human dignity. It means lack of fundamental ability to act effectively in community. It means not getting enough to eat and clothe the house, not giving the education or clinic to get to, not giving the land on which to produce one's food or a job to earn one's living, not giving access to assets. It implies anxiety, powerlessness, and rejection of people, families, and communities. It implies susceptibility to aggression, and it often involves living in minimal or weak environments without access to clean food or cleaning. The root causes of poverty are not just demand of access to essential necessities like food, housing, training, or care. Inequities, including sexuality or cultural discrimination, bad administration, struggle, victimization, and domestic violence also cause poverty. These inequities are not only lead one individual or country into poverty, but may also limit access to social services that would help people overcome poverty. When looking at the world's poor, we first do have to define the difference between relative poverty and absolute poverty, as well as the subjective poverty. While those in relative poverty might not have enough to live at their country's standard of living, those in absolute poverty do not have or barely have basic necessities such as food. And when we talk about subjective poverty, it has more to do with one's perception of one's situation. North America and Europe are home to fewer of the world's poor than Africa, which has the highest number of poor countries, or Asia, which has the most people living in poverty.
10 common root causes of poverty. Lack of good jobs, job growth. Lack of good education. Warfare, conflict. Weather, climate change. Social injustice. Lack of food and water. Lack of infrastructure. Lack of government support. Lack of good health care. High cost.
Poverty in the Philippines frequently drives innocent people to commit heinous crimes such as robbery, illegal drug sales, and so on, which always involve money in order to pay taxes and cover daily hunger. I've also included the examples of crimes that have been resulted or affected by the poverty just to pay taxes or sustain life in any family households. And then I've also included the hunger for the reasons that the criminal may commit the heinous crime. Then I have also included the quote, "All the money you made will never buy back a soul," by Dela.
Lack of income and education are the two main causes of poverty worldwide. Throwing trash into a river is only one example of how living in poverty may destroy habitat physically, transport chemical contaminants, harm aquatic species, and restrict human uses of rivers and coastal environments. Throwing trash into the streets is another way that poverty affects the environment. It's caused by the incorrect handling of solid waste produced by human activity. Effects of this type of pollution include the development of harmful microorganisms and unpleasant odors, both of which contribute air pollution. They need government assistance and education in order to survive in the state of poverty. This is for the benefit of the economy and the environment.
How do we eradicate poverty? So, there are some priority actions on poverty eradication, like improving access to sustainable livelihoods, entrepreneurial opportunities, and productive resources. Another one is providing universal access to basic social services, and progressively developing social protection systems to support those who cannot support themselves, and working with interested donors and recipients to allocate increased shares of ODA to poverty eradication. And lastly is intensifying international cooperation for poverty eradication.
Merry Christmas to you. Maraming salamat.
So why does poverty still exist? So without addressing the widespread disparities in income and economic possibilities between and within the countries, between the rurals and the urban areas, and between men and women, poverty cannot be erased. And here in the Philippines, the current main obstacles impeding the efforts to reduce poverty includes extreme inequality between the income tiers, region, and sectors, as well as the uncontrolled population growth. And study shows that in 2021, poverty rose to 18.1% despite the large government assistance. And the economy has begun to rebound, but the signs are emerging that the recovery will be uneven. And according to the PSA, or the Family Income and Expenditure Survey, there are 19.99 million people in the nation who are considered to be below the poverty line, and this corresponds to the 18.1% of the population.